Hello and welcome to another stamp class. Today's stamp class is a pickup class. What's a pickup class, you ask? It's the class in between Use It Up and the class in between Technique Time. So right in between those two dates, that's our pickup class. Kat is here. She's in-house. Good morning, Kat. Good to have you here. And Kathleen, awesome to have you here as well. So we will officially begin with good Thursday morning and welcome to the backstage here at Seeing Ink Spots. As a holder, you guys get to have some classes that aren't for anybody else but those of you with a backstage pass. So good morning. Good morning, Kathleen. Good morning, Jolinda. Yay, she's here too. Awesome. Well, we have lots to do today, as we do on all Thursdays, right? It's all about doing some stamping, getting in some good ideas, and all that good stuff. Hello, Nancy. Good morning from Massachusetts, she said. Awesome. So cool. So just for Nancy's sake, Jolinda, Kat, and Kathleen are all in California. So it's good to have both coasts represented, right? Alrighty, so I'm gonna flip the screen here and we will get to going. Yes, so Jolinda's asking, hi Nancy, where in Massachusetts? Jolinda, correct me if I'm wrong, but you are a back east girl, right? I mean, you've got a lot of family there. I can never remember if that's where you're from. Anyways, terrible of me. Anyhow, so here we go. Here comes the hand, right? And a twist of the camera. And let me see if I can't get this down a little lower. We're a little high today. Okay, and we're crooked. We need some like in-between music. In between all the movings and scootings and that sort of thing. Okay. That's looking pretty good. I'm going to throw another light on. Oh, and my mom has popped on. Hello, Mama. She's here. She's in the house. Livy's in the house with me here. And she's being sequestered from Bosco because she's in heat. And so we can't have her out hanging out with him. So here we go. All right. So our business. So today's class is so refreshing. This is a fun little bundle. It's one that I had as an artisan assignment, and I would not have bought it if it weren't for that. But now that I do have it and have stamped with it, I have thoroughly enjoyed this bundle. So you may not have this bundle, but use something else and just, have some fun creating. These layouts are simple. They're all kind of what I call related, the ones we're going to do today, and they're pretty straightforward. So that's today's class. And let me tell you about what's coming up. What's coming up? We have next week, we have our, Cheerful Daisies class. All right, there's the bundle. This is going to be a blast. Because these dies are really, really, they're charming and they're cool because you can get a lot done and a lot of effect pretty quick. So that's next week. Now, if you place an order on this host code right here, all right, if you have a $75 order on this host code, you will get next week's Technique Time and August's Use It Up class kit for free. Kat says, yay, daisies. That's right. So that's how you can earn 2 classes for free. If you want 1 class for free, use this host code and a $50 order. And I should also say a $50 order in July gets you a $5 coupon to use in August. So if you had $100, that would be 2 coupons. So, and that's for everybody, just to let you know. So that's coming up, coming up next week. And then we have our Upstyle class. This will be in my, at Seeing Ink Spots in the page, the public page, where everyone is welcome. So we will be doing some fun different alternative upstyled projects using that Fun in the Sun kit. I received mine, gosh, I think I got it on Monday. So I've received mine. Hopefully you're getting yours soon, or you already have it. And then you already heard that Use It Up for August will be the bird's eye view. You guys, this is the cutest set ever, okay? You'll need to pull in a greeting set to go with it. But yeah, it's going to be fun. Don't miss out on that one. And then let me tell you what's coming up in August, just because we're getting close to it. My Trucking Along bundle is coming today. So I don't have the stamp set or the punch to show you, but we will be using the Trucking Along bundle for our pickup class. Get it? Pun. Anyways, that will be a Facebook Live class here in the Backstage Pass on August 17th. And then our long-awaited announcement for Technique Time in August, we will be taking a deep dive into this adorable set, Sweet Collection, Zany Zoo. So I hope you guys will like that. I have had a blast with this. I love the papers and how each paper has a different theme, whether it's hobbies or camping or theater, or like like bicycles, roller skates, unicycles, scooters. So they're cute, really, really cute papers. And then the black and white can take us to, any color combination we want to go. But this is going to be a fun class. So that's what's coming up in August. Zany Zoo, Trucking Along, Bird's Eye View, and we'll upstyle our paper pumpkin. All right, let's get on with the business of today. Well, we did the business, now let's do the fun. So we are going to be stamping with the So Refreshing. And our first card, in fact, all of our cards have something they're going to be very similar in layout. And so this first card, I am basing it on thick basic white. You can see it's 4 1/4 by 11, and I've scored it at 5 1/2. So we'll just give a good crease on that. Okay, match those corners, and now let's burnish that with our bone folder. Okay, so there's our card base. And I mentioned last week during our class, there were 3 papers that we didn't use from, this isn't one of them, but there's a couple others that we're going to use today. But we had some papers left over from our class last week, so I'm using those up, plus this one here. All of them are from the Delightfully Eclectic pack of paper. Now, hi Lori, I just noticed you popped on. Good to have you here. Now, I noticed, or you may have noticed, I have used this pack over and over and over again. Well, this pack of DSP, if you're wondering why, it's like getting 4 packs of paper in one. So it's 48 sheets, and it's just a whole bunch of different designs. And what's cool about the designs, and I'm going to bring in another design here for a second. The designs, here and there, you're going to notice that it's like, okay, there's a pretzel. Why is there a pretzel? Well, that would go great with the So Cool set. Or these 2 prints here, these actually are taken from images right in the So Refreshing stamp set. So the lemons are here and the strawberries are in this, in the dies as well. So that's why I continue to use this big old pack of paper. 1, it's 48 sheets, and 2, there are so many different designs. There's black and white prints. There's, flowers. There's a daisy. I mean, it's just so many different things. So that's why I keep using it, is because of its versatility. So if you're interested in a pack of paper, that would be the one I would say to go for. Also, I'll point out that the papers go with stamp sets that don't have a matching DSP. So that's what's kind of fun about that. Okay, so moving right along. Here are our card pieces. So I have a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 piece of Designer Series paper. Look how cute that is. You could go either side. I am going to go with the lemons, since that is our matches our theme for today, the So Refreshing stamp set and dies. So real easy, I am just going to cover this entire front page with my DSP. I like this approach, you know, putting the DSP on the cover here like this, because when I open the card, it's automatically white inside. And so it makes it very easy to transition to adding a greeting and then doing some writing on the inside of the card. So there's our first layer, real tough. Ooh, so hard. And then we're going to work with these two pieces here. So to start, we're going to start with a small piece of white. And let me tell you the measurements of these two pieces. So this piece here, let me just see on my, this piece here is 3 1/4 wide by 4 1/2. So 3 1/4 by 4 1/2. 3 1/4 by 4 1/2. And that is petal pink. And then this piece here is basic white. And it is 3 by 4 1/4. Okay, 3 by 4 1/4. So it's just kind of a 1/4 inch difference between this one. So just a classic matte layer there. All right, so that's what we're gonna do with these pieces here. I'm going to grab, and I think I forgot to put this on the list of supplies needed for this class, a blending brush for yellow. And let me show you our color palette for this card. Our color palette for this card is going to be Old Olive, Petal Pink, Bubble Bath, and Lemon Lolly, okay? Those are the colors we are using, and I'm gonna start with Lemon Lolly here. It's a fun little color. I really, really love the cardstock in Lemon Lolly. Super, super nice. Okay, so I'm just going to ink up my blending brush, and on just a piece of scrap here, I'm going to, whoops, I've got a better piece of scrap. Here's a bigger piece. I'm going to kind of knock those harsh bits of ink off. I'm going to offload it. And now I'm just gently going to create a Lemon Lolly blended background. I call it a haze. Just kind of creating a haze of ink. I don't want any strong marks in it, but I definitely want it to show up. But I also want it to read as a white piece of paper with a blended background. So that's why I'm not going all the way to the edges, but just give yourself a good haze like so. And that was again with Lemon Lolly. Now I'm going to emboss this. And I'm going to dry emboss it with, this is probably one of my favorite folders. Last week I used the Milk Dot. Is that the name of it? Milk? I can't think of the name of it. It's not a Swiss dot. It's more of a, the glass that has the bubbles in it. Is it milk glass? Something like that. Anyhow, so this is the crosshatch. And so this comes from a set of 3 folders called Basics folders. There's this crosshatch, the circles, and then the last one is kind of a star floral design. And they are sold as a set of 3. And you can find these. Hobnail, thank you, Kat, for helping me out. I know that term, hobnail. Not milk glass. Didn't sound right. Hobnail. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Anyhow, so these 3 are in the online exclusives. So that's where you'll find them. You won't find them in the catalog. They're in the online exclusives. Great set of folders. They are 3D folders. You can see a little bit thicker than normal. And so my sandwich, we'll go over it, is going to be plate 1. Your embossing folder, and then plate 4. Now, if you're using a Big Shot, multi-purpose platform, no tabs, and a blue plate. And, whoops, my paper it slid right out of the folder. I'm going to get it back in the folder. And I do like to get my paper in there straight. you know, because I want those cross hatches to be on a nice 45. But if you want to just kind of put it in there, it doesn't, however you'd like, it's totally fine. Okay, I gotta move some things around. Everything's a little too far away. There we go. Okay, so here is my piece. Look at that. Isn't that fun? But the one thing you'll want to do is play with, so if I were to have come in now and done my blending brush technique, it would pick up these ridges a lot differently and they would stand out more. But I wanted it to be textural and I wanted it to be hazy. I didn't want one thing to be like too strong. So that's why I chose to go that route. So play around with things, do them how you like. So now this layer, easy enough, is going to layer onto our petal pink. Okay, now this color combination of petal pink and bubble bath, they are two clashing pinks, but I think it totally works. I really like the warm with the cool on this. Okay, so layer your pieces up like so. Now we'll put some dimensionals on this. Oh, look at this, you guys. A new piece, a new sheet of dimensionals. And so I'm going to place 5 on here. Okay. And then we'll just pull these off. And then I'm going to layer this right in the center of my card base. And so we have just a very basic layout here. Nothing crazy, no fancy folds, just a clean and classic layout there. In fact, this is going to be our layout, different measurements for all 3 of our cards today. Okay, so now that we've done that, let's get into having some fun and doing some stamping and some die cutting for what we're going to use for this particular card. So I'm just pulling out some scraps of white because we're going to be die cutting, right? So the first thing we're going to stamp is the stem. And so this stem here is, this is a 2-step set. And so I'm going to use Old Olive for my stem. Okay. And I'm just letting the weight of the block, I am not pushing into the ink pad at all. I am just tapping back and forth. And I'm going to stamp this kind of right on the side here. Voila. Okay, so now when you go to stamp this image that, you know, it's the 2-step. I'm trying to find the stamp itself. Here's one of them. And then where's the fill? Here's the fill. These images are really cool, but they may be just a little tricky to figure out where they go. So I want to help kind of highlight where you're going to stamp. So if you look right here, you can see that there's a cutout right here. And then if you can imagine another petal here, 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 and here. So there's a 5-petal flower right there that you're going to look at, and a bud here and a bloom in here. So let me ink this up in Petal Pink. This is Petal Pink ink. And I'm looking at this flower right here. My finger is tapping it. That flower there. And then this bud. And then this bloom down here that's a little more open. And if you can match those 3, you're going to be pretty. You're gonna be sitting pretty. Now, I've done this way and tried to line it up. I'm most successful placing it vertical. Okay, so here we go. And you're definitely, even if you're sitting down to stamp and you have this particular stamp, you're going to want to stand up so that you can see, and that's why it's kind of down here forward towards me a little bit. That's so you can see exactly where you're putting that image. I caught an edge there. I'm not going to worry about it because, hello, we're going to cut it out. We'll die cut it out. Now, this is the detail image, and I'm stamping it with Bubble Bath. And you're not going to see a whole lot of difference because these 2 colors are so close. But it is going to give us just a little bit of definition. Okay, so there is that in this particular one, you can see a little bit of it there and there because I'm not quite on top, but I like that. It gives us just a hint of that color. Really, our focal color is more of that petal pink. Okay, so this image, we're going to die cut. So let's grab the die cuts here. And you can see I have a piece of the Post-it labeling cover-up tape or whatever. So you're just going to frame that perfectly. Give it a little tape, excuse me, while I cough, and you will have your image that looks like so. So it's kind of nice, it cuts it right out. Now I have another one here that I played with, and this one, you know, I kind of like the difference between these two. Let me bring them up and I'll show you the difference. It's kind of subtle, but this one, let me show you how I achieved this look. It's really quite easy. We'll do it one more time. We'll stamp the stem because I like this look too. I'll have you guys tell me which one we're going to use. Okay, so there's that. And now we'll stamp again. This time I'm not going to stamp the detail image at all. I'm going to ink up in the petal pink. This is the solid image. There's my petal pink. Let me bring my scratch paper back into play here. And I'm going to just ever so slightly stamp off. Okay? I'm not doing a huge pressing ink. I want to hold as much ink there as I can. Get right over that image and stamp the flowers in there. So, again, that will fit that. So there's that one and there's that one. So you guys tell me, should we use the one that is a little bit more subtle or the one that's a little bit more, more intense in color, but we're going to use them both, but which one should be the star of the show? Either one. All right, so you're going to die cut both of those out. And like I say, I have mine done so that I don't have to sit here and do a whole bunch of those. The other things that I have die cut out is I have let me just bring my little tray over here. I have die cut one of the pictures from Mossy Meadow. And so let me show you this die. So there are two picture dies in here. Okay, there's that one. And then there is this one. Come on. I need these in my little magnetic bowl. This one here is this picture here, and it's cool because it has a nice slit right there so you can start to insert flowers and elements and leaves. So that's that one. This is just a die that coordinates with the set. It doesn't necessarily, in fact, it doesn't have a stamp that goes with it. Doesn't mean you couldn't stamp the picture. But this one here is an open die, and this one, we'll use it on our next two cards. This one does match a stamp in the set. So I'm using this one here, and I've cut that from Mossy Meadow. And Kat says, yeah, it is tough to pick when you can't see them in person, but Kat says, go for the intense color. Okay, so this one will be our focal, and this is going to be we'll tuck it back inside. Okay, so we are going to use both of those. Now, the other thing that I have cut from the set of dies, kind of just introduce these to you. I should just pour all these out. The problem is if I pour all of them out, there's a couple itty bitty, teeny tiny dies that are so small. This die here, this is kind of a nice, cool 3-leaf little piece. And so I've cut this. I've cut a bunch of them. I have one, and this is from Crushed Curry. And I think I forgot to put some of these scrap papers on here. 2, and I have 3 cut, okay? So I have that's going in our stash here. And the other thing, we have just a little bit more stamping to do, and that is with this tiny little leaf. Let me see, my stamps, here we go. This leaf here, so this one here, there's 2 up on the image, okay, they come together. And then there is a set of leaves that matches it, that fills it in. So there's a solid, but we're not gonna fill these in. We're gonna do something just a little bit different. And we are gonna take Old Olive. I'm gonna ink up my image, and we're gonna do this twice. There's once and twice, okay? So we'll stamp that a couple times. And then with a blender pen, with a good old blender pen, I'm going to just gently blend some of that ink in here. And it's going to give us just a little bit, it's gonna soften all of that white. Let me bring this up and I'll show you the difference. So here's the blended with a little bit of a blender pen. These come as a 3-pack. We don't use them very often anymore. And then that's the white. So I'm gonna do the same thing here and give this I'm just moving the color a little bit. So a super, super simple, quick, and easy technique for coloring is that. Now, guess what? There is a die that will die cut that, and it's in here. Let's see if I can find it. Here it is. It has a little tape on it. And so you would die cut that as well. So die cut, die cut, die cut, die cut. Okay, we'll pretend we're all done with that. Because I do have those ready for us. Let's see here. Here are my leaves. I have a couple of those. There. And we're going to use 3. The last thing I'm going to do is, I mentioned in our in the supply list that we were using the Timeless Arrangements dies. And so I'm just borrowing a little help from these dies for this class. And I am using these 3 labels. So, I mean, these aren't just for timeless arrangements, right? So when you have a set like this, dive into them because you'll never know how well they're going to match up with a lot of other greetings in our sets. So I'm using this small one here for now. And I am cutting it from white. So just find yourself a white label or even just cut yourself a rectangle. This one measures about, it's about 2 by 3/4. So it's just a tiny little, you know, or pick something that matches your greeting that you're going to use. And I'm going to use the greeting. Let's see if I can figure out where I put it. It might still be in the box. I want the thank you kindly. Here it is. Thank you kindly. And I am only going to ink up the thank you. I mean, I like the kindly, but I just wanted it a little bit smaller. So I'm just omitting the kindly. Okay, I think I did a pretty good job inking that up. And I'm just going to put the thank you right in the center of the label here. Good. I'm a little high, but that's okay. Well, I'm not high, but you know what I mean. High on the thingy. And I am done with my ink pads for this card. So I'm going to close all of these up before I wreck everything, right? It's what I happen to like, just put something right in, you know, an ink pad. I do it all the time. Okay, so now we're going to have some fun assembling all of our pieces here. The first thing I'm going to do is put some dimensionals. I had a dimensional on here and I changed my mind, and then I'm using a scrap here. And I'm not going to put this dimensional on just yet because I'm going to fill my vase and I'm going to add, so this is the stronger, the intense one, okay? And then with this one, I'm going to do a little bit of, I'm going to kind of fussy cut this a little. And that is, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to just kind of come right down in here and right up like so. Okay. And yes, you could use that for something, but I didn't want quite so much. And then this is going to tuck back in here, but I'll do that at the end. So I am going to put a dimensional on this. Okay, get that ready. And now for my leaves, what I want to do is, so this, I kind of want this flower to come over. I don't want to shove it all the way down in because it looks kind of cut off. I want to give it just a little bit of breathing room there, okay? And then this leaf, Livy, knock it off. She wants to go outside so bad. Like, you can't go out. Poor doggy. This one, we're gonna kind of cheat it and make it look like, because I kind of want it to spill over the edge. I don't want to stick it in that slit. I've kind of stuck it behind. That one's going there. And then we're going to have another one back in here, just like so. And see that one leaf that's hiding? Cut it off because we can use it. So this is kind of the start of how I want things to go. I think I might slide this over just a skosh. And now that I have that, I'm going to use my dimensional. Whoops, turned out the light. Hey, come here. Hey. And I'm going to use my dimensional to hold those pieces in place. Okay. And then this one, I feel like I might need a little glue on that one. So I'll do a little glue on that one in a minute as we stick things down. And so let's do another dimensional on the back of that flower. And now we can peel these and start to add this. And then we'll finish this little bouquet in just a second here. So this is going to just sit right in the center of our layers here. Okay. And then this one that we trimmed, now we can fill this one into the vase, and it's going to just kind of be an illusion. Okay, we'll tuck that in there like so. And I want to do just some more leaf in here. And so it's like, do I need that much? I might only need this leaf, but let's see here. If this one's long enough to do what I want it to do. I just kind of want to fill that void right there. And I think that is going to be an okay size, so I probably won't need that. You could use it to decorate the inside if you wanted. I always have myself a few extra pieces than what I truly need. And now I'm going to take some, look at this. Mini dimensionals are in the house. And not because I put them on an order, because that order hasn't arrived yet, but because my sweet friend Kayleen knew I needed a pack, and she sent me a pack of mini dimensionals. Anywho, okay, so I'm going to take this, and I'm going to just, put a little dimensional under that one to hold it really in place. And then this one's going to get a mini. Whoops, I took the cover right off. So we'll just do a little mini right there. And we'll just tuck that right in there to kind of fill that little spot. Let me bring that up so you can kind of see where we're going. All right, and now for these little green leaves, I want to add these into my bouquet as well. And so I'm going to use, now I got this. So these were from Kayleen, and this little dispenser here was from Julie, and it's a precision tip. And so I've put my liquid glue in there, my green cap glue. I put a little green cap glue in here. And for this one, I'm going to go ahead and put some glue on the back. Look at that. It comes out nice and easy. I didn't have to unplug it or anything. Awesome little gizmo. And I'm going to add this one right into here, like so. And we'll do a couple more. They're all going to kind of be over here on this side. And this one, I'm going to actually put the glue on top, because that's how my layers are in here. And so we'll just kind of tuck this one. Can you guys hear Livy? She really wants to go out. Maybe I'll have to let her out and bring Bosco in. Okay, and this one I'm also going to put the glue on the front. And originally I had it over here, and I didn't like it. Well, maybe this one's going to be different because it's higher up. So it could be there, or my original actually has it over in here. I think I like it in here. But this is why I did it on the front, so I could pick it up with that leaf. Okay, good. All right, now this piece here, I'm just going to do some glue on this. And it's going to glue, and I'm just doing some glue in the middle. And I'm going to put that right over the bottom of the vase here. And so now I'm just centering this on the card from side to side. And I know it's a little deceiving with the picture because of the handle of the picture, but that's okay. So there's my greeting. Couple more things to finish it off. It's 3 things. I bet you can guess what they are. Surprise, surprise, right? We are going to use a little bit of linen thread, which I have some scraps here in a bag. Don't worry, I have lots more linen thread where this came from. This is just, I'm using up some leftovers here. So I have a couple long pieces, which I don't need the full thing of either. So we're just gonna tie a bow that's gonna sit right about there. Okay, so have you guessed what we're gonna add? So I've given you one of them, linen thread. And I'm just gonna do a bow, not too big a bow, because the vase isn't very big. And I kind of want it to be in proportion to the vase. So we're gonna do some linen thread and we'll put that on with a glue dot. So we'll put our glue dot right on where we're gonna put our bow. Sometimes I put the glue dot on the knot and sometimes I go like right there. Okay, and I'm not gonna mush it on hard because it's bigger than my knot. And so I'm just gonna kind of wiggle my linen thread in there and then just kind of use the tip of my hobby blade here to just kind of hide and move that little bit of glue dot around. Now I can kind of go in and mush it and give it a good firm burnish, that adhesive. So there's my bow. Now I want to put some gems on this. So here is number 2 is gems. And these, I think these are sweet. What is the name of this pack? This is adhesive backed solid gems. And so you get copper clay, boho, and lemon lolly. And so I'm going to use the lemon lolly on this. And let's see, let's do kind of a medium. And we'll do a medium here. Kind of right about, maybe snuggle it in just a little bit more. And I'm going to take a large and put it up here. And then I'll take a small and just kind of balance it over there. Okay, so that was 2. And last but not least, she's in house, folks. It's a brand new Wink of Stella. Let me just give her a little bit of a prime. So I'm pushing on the 2 words that say push. I am kind of holding it vertical. And as I see it start to fill the barrel, that's when I don't need to keep going. So I can just go ahead and give my flowers a little bit of a zhuzh. We'll get these back in here and then maybe a little bit on these leaves. And I'm just brushing this in the direction of the leaves, the shape. And now we'll just give a splatter. And I'm pretty much aiming for that picture because that's where it's really going to show up the most. And there you have it. There is our first card, one and done. Here's the one I was working off of. Fun, pretty, simple, easy, yet, elegant. Hope you liked that one. I love the petal pink and the bubble bath. Okay, card number 2 is going to be similar because it's the same. We're going to do the same type of layout here. And so my pieces are bubble bath. This is 11 and then it's 4 1/4 wide. And I have a score line right here already at 5 1/2. So there's our card base, a bubble bath card base. Okay. And now this one is going to be a little bit different in that we'll have our 2 layers like we did on our first card, but I'm not going to put a piece of, we're going to have the designer series print be here rather than here. So just a slight variation and slight variation in size. So let's look at our sizes here. This piece here is 3 3/4 inches wide by 5. So 3 3/4 by 5. And so my DSP is a 1/4 inch smaller in both directions. So it's going to be 3 1/2. Let me double check. Yep. 3 1/2 by 4 3/4. Okay. 3 1/2, 4 3/4. And again, this is that cute strawberry print from the Delightfully Eclectic paper. And like I say, the print, the lemons that I just showed you and this one, they totally are from this So Refreshing bundle. So what's cool is we see the connection between things, you know, so it's kind of fun to find that. Here's the back side of this print. It's a bubble bath and white. It's cute. It's fun. This is going to be super easy here, folks. We are going to add this to our old olive panel here. Just like so. And I can't decide if this little stem on the strawberry is old olive or garden green. Both colors work well with this particular piece of designer series paper. And I like the garden green, but I like the old olive for right now. It's a nice warm or hot summer day. And so I kind of liked the way it went. Kathleen says, cute set and card. Thank you, Kathleen. I appreciate that. Okay, same deal here, just like we did on that first one. I'm going to throw 5 on the back, and we'll layer this right on our card base. Keeping it pretty simple here on our layouts. We'll save all those crazy fun folds for next week for technique time. I'm going to turn my card base over. When I'm layering something like this on, I don't know what you guys do, tell me, but I'm looking at this corner, at the 4 corners, and I'm like pointing them right in to the corners of my card base, trying to line all those up. And I'm usually pretty good. Occasionally I have to pick it up and replace it. But if you guys have a tip, let me know. Okay, so there's our card base. Kind of fun. Bubble bath, calypso coral, old olive. Okay, I have another piece of bubble bath. This is a scrap piece. It needs to be large enough. Whoops, wrong set of dies. Let me find the right set of dies here. It needs to be large enough for the, I'm going to call it the tablecloth, the picnic cloth, whatever you want, or the picnic blanket. A lot of people call this the magic carpet. So we're going to use the magic carpet die here, and we are going to make magic with our bubble bath ink pad here. We did this technique a couple months ago with the lantern, where we smooshed the lantern right into the ink pad. So I'm going to smush the die. And the reason I'm smushing my die into this ink pad here is because the die actually has, some detail in there, right? So I want those details to show up just a little bit more. And so I'm going to place my die right on my paper, and I'll run it through the Big Shot the way I normally would. It's over here on the other side of the counter, so hold on. Okay. So cool. I love this technique. So here's my die. You can see there's a little ink left in there. And here is my die cut. See how it kind of just highlights, well, it actually contours all the, the ink got down into the nooks and crannies. So that's going to go there. But before we actually add our flying carpet to the card base here, I want to take my, let's see, where's my cleanup pad? Hello. I want to do a little cleaning first. I know it's right here. Where did it go? I cleaned it and got it all wet and prepped for class. I know it's just right under my nose, but I want to clean this before I just kind of keep going on with things. How could I lose an entire thing of... Oh, brother. I don't know where... It's around here somewhere. I know it's right here. I didn't take it anywhere. I haven't even used it yet. Oh, well, so we're going to go old school here. Got some wipes. So they're on my cart. They live on the bottom. So I am going to clean up that die just because I don't want to put it back in and get ink on other things. So just be aware of that. Whoops. Okay. So now I'm going to take the picnic blanket here, and to make it look a little less like it's flying, I'm going to not use dimensionals. So that's going to be my tip to you. I'm going to glue it down, and then we'll put our little picnic setting on top. So it's a whole new world. Ching. Okay, so I'm not quite there. That would be halfway. I'm kind of down just a little bit, but straight across there. There's our picnic blanket. And now, if you remember, I said I was borrowing the dies from Timeless Arrangements. This is the middle size. Is that the middle size? Let's bring them out again. So these dies are fabulous. No, I'm sorry, it's the large. So there's that one. It's this one right here. And then here's the little one. Just so you can see them in, kind of. So this label here, I just need a label big enough that will fit the happiest birthday greeting. And so I'm going to use the happiest birthday. So here it is, happiest birthday. And I haven't showed you my color palette for this card. Let's get it together here, girlfriend. We are going to use Old Olive. We're going to use Bubble Bath. Let me get that. And Calypso Coral. So colors for this card, Calypso Coral, Bubble Bath, and Old Olive. So with Old Olive, I'm going to stamp my greeting. Most of the time, I will select the darkest color in my palette for my greeting. That's just me. And I'm going to stamp Happiest Birthday over here on the right side. Just like so. There's Happiest Birthday. And we'll kind of set that to the side. I'm going to move these away for now. And Happiest Birthday is going to kind of set right over in here. In fact, I'm going to have it sneak over. I don't know if it's going to go that way or if it's going to come this way. We'll see. But let's just start to gather our elements. So there's our greeting is going to sit right there. I'm going to scoot that aside. I'm going to go back and grab another piece of white. Or let's see, do I have room left on my first piece of white? Can't even find my first piece of white. Here it is. It's right here. I'm going to flip this one over and we'll stamp pieces for this card on this leftover. And I'm going to stamp this time. We're going to stamp the big picture, the big juice, lemonade, water, sangria, whatever you want it to be. I'm going to give it a clean. Cannot believe I can't find my cleanup pad. I know it's right here, but it's not right here. It's around here somewhere. Okay, so that's clean. Now I'm going to stamp this in Calypso Coral. So just kind of gently tap, let the weight of the block pick up that ink. Tap back and forth, and we'll stamp this down in the corner because we're going to die cut it. There's that. Poor Livy. She says, my friends are playing without me. Here's Bubble Bath, and I'm going to use the image. It's a solid fill-in image, okay? This image here is your beverage of choice. It's going to be strawberry lemonade in my mind. And there's a couple places you can position this image. For this card, I'm going to put this bottom edge right down on the bottom edge of that, okay? So it kind of looks like, sometimes you might want that to go all the way up to there, or it's just kind of sitting, it's a little further down in the picture. So there's that. So I showed you the die cut for that originally, but I'll show it again. There it is. This nice, lovely die cuts that out. So we'll have to do that. I have one done already. So you can see what it looks like, die cut out. Okay. So for this, I'm going to go ahead and put a couple dimensionals on it. We might as well just get it prepped and ready, right? And that we'll put on our card. Now I also want to do, we're going to do this floral image again, only this time we're going to stamp it a little bit different. We're going to use Old Olive for our leaves again. So we need that leaf image. And you know what? I don't want it to be quite as intense. I want it just a little softer. I don't want it quite so harsh. So I'm just gently stamping off. And now I'll stamp the image here. So see, it's a little softer. It has what I called kind of a mottled look because you can see some highs, some darks, and some light spots. I like that. I like that a lot. I think it adds character to the images. Now our flowers, we're gonna do the solid image. We're gonna do them in bubble bath. So here's the bubble bath. I'm gonna pull this off. You guys already saw that that's where that's gonna go. So again, line up that flower. That 5-petal flower sits right in there. Look how cute that is. I even like it just like that. But I'm going to show you the 2-step. So we'll do this in Calypso Coral. So let me slide these. So here's Calypso Coral. And now we'll layer that right on top. Cool. Cool, cool. And we'll die cut this out with that same die that you've seen. And we have a little bit more that we're going to stamp. We're going to do the leaves again. And so we did the leaves on the first card, this one here. We stamped these in olive. We're going to stamp them in olive again. So we'll just do some leaves right about here. Only, oh, well, one more time. Get the whole thing. This time I'm going to use the fill-in. So there's a solid fill-in for the leaves as well. Just bring in my scratch. I am going to stamp those off. And then look how easy to fill these in. Okay. It's a slightly different look from where we did the stamping and then we just blended it with a blender pen. And then look at the difference with the using the solid image. And if I huff on this, I'm not going to re-ink, but here's another look that you can go for. That second generation is also really pretty. So there's that. And we're going to do one more thing on here. I'm going to close all these up because we have our stamping, but we don't have all of our die cutting ready. So for our die cuts, you're going to need, pick whichever leaves you like, but die cut your leaves. That's one die, remember? Okay, and your picture and the flower. Get that out. And while we're here at these dies, I'm going to show you the 2 smallest dies ever created. Oh, we have to stamp the glasses too. So we'll get that stamped too. The 2 smallest dies I think ever, I have to pour all these out. I'm going to pour them out on this piece of paper. Okay. So there are 2 cups. It's kind of nice. There's 2 lemons. There's this itty bitty, teeny tiny. There's 2 tags on this one die. Look how tiny that little tag is. I haven't figured out what to use that for. But this die here, it's the strawberry. And then here's the littlest one ever. That's the stem. So you can cut 3 strawberries and 3 stems at the same time. So that's what we're going to work on now. And I've done these with, just cutting them out of Old Olive and Calypso Coral. But I find they have much more character if we do this. And so I'm going to show you what I did. But first, I'm going to take these and kind of pour them back in here for now. Okay, here's what I did for my strawberries. So for my strawberries and my stems, I'm using Calypso Coral and Poppy Parade blends. And I'm going to just do, here's some Calypso Coral, and it needs to be long enough to fit the die, which that's just right about there. And then I'm going to put Poppy Parade on top. And when you mix, I don't know if you guys can see it happening, but when you mix 2 colors together, it really starts to do something a little bit different than when you just put the dark poppy on the light Poppy Parade. It just kind of does something, I don't know. Just try it for yourself, mixing two similar colors and see what happens. It's just kind of cool. So I might just kind of enhance it a little bit in a couple areas. And now let's do a little bit of Old Olive. We'll do both Old Olive. Now this is just Old Olive. I'm going to do them over here. Here's light Old Olive. And I'm just going to kind of do some streaks of dark through there. And then maybe kind of crosshatch the other direction just to kind of blend it. And I don't know if you guys can see it in camera action, but when you kind of, I can totally see a pattern in my brush strokes, which I kind of think is cool rather than a solid cardstock. So here are these teeny tiny itty bitty stems, like I say, smallest die on the planet. And there's my strawberries. And then I need to do 2 glasses. So let's see. We'll just start a new piece of paper for our glasses here. And the glass stamp, here is the solid image to fill it in. And here's the open line image. So we're going to make them the same as the juice pitcher. So we have 2 glasses here. Here's our glass in Calypso Coral. Here's another one in Calypso Coral. Now you're wondering, why did she do them so far apart? Well, I'll show you why I did them so far apart in just a second here. Bubble bath. And I can see there's yellow on here, so I'm gonna just clean that up. Here's bubble bath. You guys are awfully quiet. Now I'm going to add that right into there. Is that cute or what? And the reason I have them separated like that is because if you do that, then you have enough room for the die. We want to get this under here. Just kind of move that. You have enough room to get the dies in there. Sometimes I'll stamp them so close together that you have to do one die at a time. So, oh, you're making lemonade? Ah, that sounds good. In fact, I actually have, I have strawberry banana peach here. No, strawberry banana mandarin. I'm taking a drink. Excuse me, sorry. I needed to wet the whistle. Okay, so that's all of our die cutting for this card. And I have mine done ahead of time. So now let me bring those cut pieces for you. We'll just kind of set all this over here. And actually, I'm gonna grab these 2. I have them die cut ahead of time, but I'm gonna get them back into the bag before I lose them because they're so small, but they're so cute. They're fumbly, as Julie would say sometimes. A lot of fumbly parts. Okay, so let's see here. Here are my 2 glasses, my flowers, my leaves. Oh, I have lots of leaves this time. I only need 2. I have some extras just in case I lost them. And here come my strawberries. These are so cute, you guys. Oh, there's a stem. Strawberry, strawberry. They're so little. Okay. Here's my other strawberry. My stems are in there. I am going to use my Take Your Pick tool. We're definitely going to want that putty end for all of this. So see, I'm picking them up out of my little tray here. There's another one. Okay, so this is where this precision tip is going to come in handy because I'm going to do just some 3 dots. Now, these, I should have die cut some Calypso Coral strawberries just so you could see the difference. I know you can't see the difference. Let me get these glued and then I'll bring them up a little closer to you. These actually have a little more character than if they were just, whoops, a little too much glue there, but just teeny dots of glue. Don't try and put glue on the back of those stems. That's just pure insanity. So I'm putting a little glue there and I'm bringing a stem and dropping it. So I'm just using the putty end of my Take Your Pick tool to pick up these itty bitty teeny tiny stems. Okay, this one. There we go. It's a little low, but these have just a little bit of character. Maybe throw it under a piece of white. Well, you definitely see it from the back. The back's kind of cute too. Anyhow, you get the idea. Using blends to create your own color makes it really kind of fun, kind of cool. A little different than just straight cardstock. Okay, so let's bring this into play here and start to add our pieces. We'll dry fit the big pieces and then we'll add in the others. So to me, the big pieces are the greeting, the juice pitcher. Okay, it's gonna come in like so. Then we have our beverages and flowers. And so the flowers, I'm kind of stealing a layout I did on an earlier card, but my flowers are just gonna kind of stretch across the front here. And then, wait, everyone else okay? What happened? Like the texture. You're frozen? Oh, the meaning, not frozen as in cold. The screen is frozen. Nancy says she's okay. You know, I'm right by my server. I mean, not my server, but my stupid, whatever that thing is called. So my glasses are going to go there. So I think I'm going to go ahead and lay this one down for sure. Start with that one. And I can tell I need to come up a little higher. So I'm going to come up a little higher and come over. I like going beyond sometimes. I think it's just a little bit more interesting than keeping it all inside the layers. And then this one here, we'll just kind of bring that right up in like so. And then we'll do the flowers. Now the flowers, some of this needs to be on dimensional and some doesn't. So I'm gonna put my dimensionals down here at the bottom. Let me get my minis back in here. I like this color combo for the flowers too. It's just, it works. It's summery. You know, I sure think that Stampin' Up! Uses Calypso Coral a lot. It shows up in a lot of places, yet it's not my #1 go-to color, but I sure use it a lot because I'm kind of guided, inspired by, you know, the DSP and whatnot, or I would not be picking up Calypso Coral because it's just not one of my most favorites. So there's my flowers. Okay, yes, we have a little bit of a gap over here, but that's okay because we're gonna have a glass that goes there. Okay, and we'll have another glass that will come kind of right down in front here. So for this glass, I'm going to put just a dimensional on the bottom and we'll do glue because it's already gonna have dimension from this layer here. So we'll just put that one right there. And then this one, it looks like I'm gonna do one on the bottom and then I'm going to kind of see about, and I'm gonna put my dimensional right there. That way I know I'm not gonna be lopsided onto the handle of the pitcher there. We'll just bring this over like so. And now here comes the magic of this card, and that is making these drinks really pretty. We're gonna add the strawberries and the leaves to the glasses here. So let's see here. Let's do this. Let's add, we're gonna do these just kind of like we did the strawberries. I'm just gonna do a little bit of glue, right like that. And then I'll take one of my strawberries and set it right there. Okay, and then we'll take one of our leaves here. We'll glue on the back. And I'm gonna just lift that underneath like so. And let's do the same thing. This time I'm gonna put the strawberry over here on the other side. We'll pick up our strawberry. Cute. Makes me want to go to like Jamba. We don't have Jamba Juice here. We have Jamba. This one I'm going to put on with the dimensional. Okay. And we'll just tuck this leaf right up in there like so. Cute. We have one extra strawberry. We can put it on the inside if we want. And we're going to add a little bit of linen thread here. So I have that scrap that I'm working with. And I'm going to do a large bow right in there. Not super large, but not itty bitty either. Not as small as the last card's bow. Definitely a little bigger. Just because our scene is bigger, if you know what I mean. Okay, grab my tails. And, whoops, there you have it. And it's gonna tuck right back in here, kind of behind the handle there. So that's that. And I want this kind of, I don't know, I want it floppier. You know what I mean? I want more character to my bow. It feels a little stiff. So I'm just gonna play with it a little bit. Maybe take some of the, there we go. Now it's got a little more pizzazz. We'll put a glue dot on the knot. Okay. Just right there like that. Kind of wiggle it into the fibers of the linen thread. And we'll reach that sucker right in there. That under there. Okay. There's that. Kind of cute. Kind of fun. And let's finish it off with some sequins. This pack of sequins that I'm going to use, a little different. Not the first pack we used. This pack here, this matches this comes from the Sweet Collection Masterfully Made. So these are called Adhesive Backed Sequins Trio. They're so, adhesive backed. I mean, I come up with a fun name for these. Anyhow, I'm going to use that dental pick end again. And what's cool is there's some smalls and some larges. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do like 5 on here. So we'll just kind of see. I like to start with a large. And I'm going to start with a large and kind of hide it under my picture here. So there's one. And then I'll do another one kind of by it. There's 2. And then we're going to do like a trio down here. So I'll do another large. Maybe like right in here. And we'll come down. And then we'll do one more small. And it's always like, where do I want to put it? Do I want to put it over here? Where's it going to go? Maybe I'm going to do it right in. I think I kind of like it in here. Okay. And we'll flick it with a little wink of Stella just to give it that Stella sparkle. Because we can, you don't have to. I'm going to just do a little on the flowers like I did on the first one. And this right in here. It just makes if you do it to the drink, it now looks like it's carbonated and fizzy. It's just kind of cool, okay? So, anyhow, have some fun with that. Maybe a little splatter. And there you have it. There is our second card. Okay, here's my first card. This one here, I actually had a leftover circle sitting on my stamp desk, so I used it. But I decided I want to use everything from the Timeless Arrangements so that I wasn't getting out more stuff. But you can kind of see different kind of approaches there. All right, so that's our second one. And by the way, we used up our piece. So this piece of paper was in your Use It Up kit last month that we didn't use. And so we have another piece from Use It Up last week that we didn't use. We're using this one. This one inspired a color combination last week, but now we're actually using the paper. The back side of this is the curry with the white spots. So we're using that piece of paper. We're also using the Misty Moonlight that was in last week's Use It Up kit that we didn't use. And so this is a quarter sheet. It's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. This one here is 4 by 5 1/4. And so that layers on there like so. And then our card base is, I told you all these cards were the same, 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2. So we just have, these are all top folds with a classic mat. Nothing wild and crazy. However, before we mat these, we're going to do a little bit of die cutting. So I want you to cut out 2 leaves from the center of your die here. Okay, I'm trying to figure out what's going on with my tray here. Okay, got a little, so I've cut 2 leaves here from the centers, right? You can't see them there. They kind of, so there's my 2 leaves. So I don't need to do that because I've already done it, but I'm just kind of showing you, you know, use up that center because we're just going to cover it up. It's going to be sandwiched in there. No one will be the wiser that we cut some leaves out. And I'm also going to emboss this piece. And so I'm embossing this with the same folder we used earlier. This is from the basics folders. Okay. This is the cross hatch. And get the right plates in place. Again, it's plate 1, plate 4. And I'm rolling it through with the folded edge goes through first. Okay. That folded edge goes through first. I know sometimes we break the rule, but that protects, that's the best way to do it. It protects the folder from this cracking and coming apart. So, okay, now this layer is ready. And again, pretend there's 2 cutout leaves in there. And we can do this. Now, it doesn't show a whole lot of that texture in there, but what it does do is it does give it a little bit of design and texture on the edge, but it also creates some depth. It gives us a hint of dimension. So rather than putting it, you know, on this layer on dimensionals, the embossing, the dry embossing gives us some added dimension. So that's why I do it. How about you? Okay, again, just classic layers here. Okay, and we will put dimensionals on the back of this. Come on. Wiggle into place. Okay, we'll do bigs on this, obviously, and we'll just do them like so. Okay, and we'll throw this on our card base. Easy, easy. Whoops, let's make sure the flowers are upright. Now this one, I think we were supposed to glue this. But you know what? It's now on with dimensionals. We were supposed to glue this one because this one covers the whole thing. Oh, well. Kat, you're funny. Funny. Okay. Have on hand without sentiments. Okay, so hold on. I got to go back. I think this would be pretty to have on hand without a sentiment. Yeah, I agree, because then you can kind of fit it in with what you need. That's kind of the beauty of, you know, like a blank card that you buy inside, and then it can kind of be whatever you want. We were supposed to have glued this, by the way. But yes, a seasonal note card, I agree. Okay, yeah, we were supposed to glue this on. That's okay. Mine's on with dimensionals. It's a little weird. Let's see, should we fix it? Nah, no one will know. No one will be the wiser. Okay, but I was thinking it was smaller than, which was why I was doing it, but it just needed to have been glued on. We'll have plenty of dimension here in a second. Okay, so for this, we have our 2 leaves. We'll definitely be using our 2 leaves on this card. Let's do some stamping for this card. So just grab yourself a scratch of white. Okay, so I've got some scraps of white here, and we're gonna do some similar stamping, just in different colors. So our color palette for this card is going to be, let me get them all together here. We are going to use Misty Moonlight, Lemon Lolly, and Bubble Bath. That's our color combo for this one. We're gonna let's start with the juice pitcher, because that's kind of the focal image of everything. Here's my juice pitcher. Give it just a quick clean. And we're going to stamp the juice pitcher in Misty Moonlight. Here's Misty Moonlight. And you know the drill, since we're gonna die cut it, I'm just gonna do it down here on the bottom. So there's that. Now let's get the glass. We're gonna do 2 glasses again. You could do more, but it starts to get a little crazy. I'm gonna show you guys, after we finish this card, I'm gonna show you some other cards made with this set. Again, open this up enough that you have room for the dies. There's the blue. Now let's fill it in. This time we're going for lemonade. So we're going to do the Lemon Lolly. Okay. And we'll just fill these glasses up. There's that. Oops. I'm gonna finish stamping there. And then this one here, give it a quick clean. So if you remember last time, I stamped this edge all the way down on that edge. If you stamp it a little higher, it also works if you want to go right in and get to the top of that line. So you can do either one. Hi, Karen. I see you popped on. That's fun. I'm going to close my Lemon Lolly. Well, no, I'm not going to close. I'm just going to set them aside. I'm going to bring out my Daffodil Delight. And so I had my Daffodil Delight spot on hand. I do have a full size, but I had a Daffodil Delight spot on hand from the Fun in the Sun kit. I am going to stamp this lemon here. So this cute little lemon, I'm going to stamp it like right about here in Daffodil Delight. Hopefully you can see that. And I've also stamped it on a Post-it note. Okay, I've stamped it on a Post-it note and cut it out. And I have my little lemon here. I've stamped it and cut it out. So I've just created a mask. And so just cover up your lemon like so, and ink it up and stamp another lemon inside. Whoops, it took it right off, but that's okay. This next one I'm going to do a little lower, and it's not going to need to have that mask, but just have some fun adding some fruit. There's also an ice cube image. I've tried using the ice cube. Maybe you guys could be more successful, and it looks weird when I do it. So I need somebody else to show me how to use the ice cube image a better way. Okay, leave these 2 color yellows out. We're going to stamp some more lemons. And in the stamp set, there is a little duo of lemons here. Here's the detail, and then there's the solid. So I'm going to stamp the solid with Lemon Lolly. Okay, there's my solid. And here's my other solid. And now we'll do the detail with Daffodil Delight. Okay, let's see. These are just going to go like so. And like so. Cool. Yep, 2 sets of lemons. And we're going to do just a little bit more, like we did the strawberries. We're going to do some leaves. And yes, these leaves are going to be purple, because that's what is another color in my designer series paper. There are purple leaves out there, maybe not quite like these, but just go ahead and give yourself about something like that. And I'm going to go in and maybe cross hatch the other direction just to give it some pattern. And then we'll blend down again. And doing that, I know you think, well, that's kind of ugly, but when you die cut something, and this is the leaf die, My leaves are still stuck in here, I noticed. Let me just pop these out. Look how cool they look. You know, they're just kind of interesting. All that funkiness goes away, and they're solid, but they're not solid. There's a little bit of interest. And I'm thinking one of these times I might actually turn my paper over, because look how pretty they are from the back. You know, the color isn't quite as crazy. So that may be a new technique. Color and then die cut from this side. Haha. So that's how I did my leaves. I'll show you that die because we haven't used it just yet. So we have several dies on here that we haven't used. So that was the leaf die. I just popped it out. Okay, that's nice. It gives you 3 up on a die. The other die we haven't used yet is this one here, and this cuts this little pair of lemons out. There's also 2 of these circles, so if you wanted to stamp the lemon for something, there's plenty of these dies to die cut those as well. In fact, we have to do that. Duh. Sorry. I'm like, here comes the best part of this card. So we're going to take the lemon in Daffodil Delight. I stamped that one in Lemon Lolly. We want them in Daffodil Delight, so they're a little bit more intense color-wise. And you can see here, they've given us 2 lemon slices there, okay? So you'll put those on. We're gonna die cut everything. So you're gonna die cut the leaves, the lemons, the glasses, the pitcher, just as we've done before. Now I'm gonna throw all of these back in here, just so I don't lose them. So we've done all that. I've done mine. Just here are my pieces. We're just gonna throw everything over here because we have one more piece we have yet to do. So let's see here. We have our juice pitcher, our lemonade, and our 2 glasses are on hand here. And I have a couple lemons, a couple pairs of lemons, and I have even cut my lemon slices right here. We go with those. All kinds of stuff. That's what makes it fun, right? And we have a couple more things. I'm gonna cut using my dies from Timeless Arrangements, these fun labels. I'm gonna cut that one. This is kind of the medium-sized one, and the large. We're gonna cut that from white and from white. So don't forget, look at your sets that have labels in them and use them for more and more and more cards. But you know what? Even some of these pieces would tuck nicely in with some of the flower stem in this set. So, okay. All right. Now, we're going to use this piece one more time, and we're going to do the exact same thing we did with the bubble bath, only this time we're going to do it with the lemon lolly and a piece of white. You're going to smush, you're going to add it onto your paper and run it through, and voila. So since you've kind of seen me do it before, you don't need it again, but here's another example of it. So again, the process is when you take your textured side of your die, you lay it into your ink pad, smush it in there, and then die cut as you normally would on your paper. Okay? And so there you have it. You get another cool flying carpet, flying picnic blanket. And how are we going to ground it? We're going to ground it just like we did our first one, and that is to glue it rather than dimensional it. And it's going to come and sit kind of over in here, okay? So the last little bit of stamping that I want to do is going to take us just a second. We're going to use Misty Moonlight for our greeting. And we're going to take the other greeting that we haven't used in the set that says, "Time spent together is the sweetest." But I'm going to separate these. So we're going to do "time spent together" on one label, and then "is the sweetest" on the other. So let's stamp that. We're going to need some Scotch tape. This to me is the easiest way to mask. You could use a marking pen, a Stampin' Write marker. The problem with the Stampin' Write markers on photopolymer is I don't feel it covers very well. unless you really, really get in there. So I'm covering up the time spent, and now I need to do those little words right in there. Just kind of get everything. So that's why I have 2 pieces of tape. Okay, and so I'll kind of pick that up so that I can, so I don't have it covered right there and right there. So I'm going to do one more little piece of tape. That's easier than pulling the other one off. And just go a little bit higher. Okay, and then I'm going to take my fingernail and press all of that down into the grooves. Cool. Now, here is the larger, and I like to have a piece of, look what I found. I found my piercing mat. It's another color. Okay, I like to have that contrasting color so I can see what I'm doing. So I'm inking up my image. I don't need to worry about where I'm getting it because it can get all over the tape. Now, pull off your first layer of tape, and that will take everything so that you don't have to touch it. And put it in your trash collector. Did just a little huff, and I'm going to center this. Give just a little extra, right? Oh, that was stupid. Okay, so this is going to go right in the center here. And really look at the time spent and make sure that the time spent is running parallel with your label. Nice. Okay, so there's my time spent. And so this is actually going to come up here, and then our other greeting is going to go down here. So kind of a different type of layout, but that's what we're going to aim for. Now we need to clean it really good, really well. And same drill. This one's a little bit trickier. We're going to cover up the first part of the phrase. Okay, so we'll cover that all up. And see, we have to do this one a little different. We can get in here to get this, right? Just kind of, but I need to pick up that G. So now I just have a little one. Yeah, look at all this tape. But you know, sometimes I just cut my stamps apart, but I don't think I'd want to do it on this one. But I'm just making sure it's all covered, and it is. So we'll just tap, tap, tap. Get everything inked up. And now we'll take this away. Again, if you grab that first piece of tape, that will bring everything else up. Okay, quick cleaning on my fingers. Now, for this one, I just gave a little huff on that. Is the sweetest. I'm going to put this over to the right. So in a way, we're borrowing that idea from the card previous to the one we are doing on, the one we're working on right now. So there's is the sweetest. There's that. Now let's bring our pieces back in and we can assemble. So I told you this one was going to go about here and this one's here. And our blanket is going to go down towards the bottom of our card. Okay, so just dry fitting some things. We have our juice pitcher, and on my original, I actually have the juice pitcher underneath. So I'm not sure if I'm going to do it underneath or do it on top. We'll have to see. Then we have some foliage in here just to zhuzh things up. And then our glasses and lemonade will come into play here. I just want to get my main pieces in first, kind of seeing where they're going to go. So this is leftover basic twine, baker's twine. It's Night of Navy. It's a really old one. We haven't sold them on this sort of a spool for a long time. But in the spirit of using things up, that's what I'm doing. Hello, Karen. Glad you said hello. I'm just now seeing it. Okay, so now that I know that's going to go, I'm going to tie, my ribbon is going to go underneath. It's not ribbon, it's twine. So I know that it's 3 rows of flowers down, and I can kind of slide these out of the way. So we'll tie our twine right about there and lose everything. So I'm just going to cut a piece off. cut a big enough piece to make it easy to tie. You can always cut the tails. So we said it was about 3 rows of leaves down, 3 rows of flowers down. So right about here. And I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna tighten it up, and I'm gonna put a second knot in this because this is such lightweight, fine twine that I'm gonna do that. Oh, poor Livy. Livy, come on. She wants to go play with the others. Okay, so kind of tinker with this just a little bit to get those to lay just right. This one's wanting to spin. Hate that. Sometimes you just go with it. Sometimes you untie it and kind of run your fingernails across it, and that will sometimes cure the problem. And sometimes, oh, look, it did. It worked. Much better. So see, you know, you just don't always get it in the first try, right? So there's that. And we'll pull these up, kind of even them out. Awesome. Okay, so now that that's done, now we can put this one on. And I'm going to put this on with dimensionals. And I'm going to do a dimensional up high and a dimensional kind of down low so that I'm straddling my twine. And it's going to kind of cantilever over the side here, but it's just kind of right in the middle of that. Okay, so there's that one. Now let's do our elements on the bottom here because that takes care of the top. So let's glue this down because I found that that kind of makes it not look so much like a flying carpet. We will go ahead and glue it down. And it's going to come across the bottom. And then this one here, we're going to put a dimensional and a dimensional. And I'm going to take this one off. I'm not going to pull this one just yet. You'll see why in just a second here. So this I'm going to kind of bring right over, and it's going to cantilever over the side as well. When I say cantilever over the edge, it means I've gone beyond this layer. You could line it up if you want. So now the name of the game is, do I want my picture on top? And then it's actually over here more. Or do I want it underneath? Do I want to see that rectangle? I haven't decided. Let's see here. Okay, so we're going to do that. And I've told you that our leaves are coming in like so. And our glasses, we're going to have one glass in front and one glass is going to go behind, just creating some variation, right? So I don't know if I want this edge to show or if I want to do it more like that. Okay. In the comments, should I do the rectangle in front or the rectangle behind? While I'm waiting for that answer, I'm going to take my 2 lemons here, the lemon slices, and I'm going to show you where I'm going to make a little cut. I'm going to go right inside one of the segments to the center of the lemon itself. That's that. I'll do it again with this second one. Just right in between the segments. Picture on top. Thank you, Eunice Brown. Okay, so with this, I'm going to take my little precision tip here and put just a little dot of glue right there. And I'm going to take my glass and I'm going to run that so that the lemon edge, the slice that I cut, is right across the rim of the glass. There's that. Let's do the same thing with this one. Oh, where did my lemon? Here it is. It's hiding. Little bit of glue, just a touch of glue right here. Okay, and right on there. Okay. Just kind of giving it a pinch to get it to the adhesive to bond. Okay. And so this one, or whichever one, it doesn't matter, one lemon, one glass, we're going to put a dimensional just on this upper top, and the rest will all be gluing. And so Eunice said, let's put the picture on top of this. So that means I can go in and pull this off. Well, yeah, I can pull it off, but don't push it down super tight yet. Let's just kind of dry fit our picture in here because I need to be able to slip this one inside. So I'm going to slip this one inside right about here, and now I'll push down. That one's going to go right about there. Okay, now let's see here. So we need a dimensional up here and over here on the side, and the rest is going to be there. So we won't need dimensional over there. We'll just need a squirt of glue right through here. Okay, so this is going to come out right about like so. And then we have a glass of lemonade right in here. Okay, so remember I have that dimensional there. I'm going to glue this part down. Just kind of like so. Okay. Now I'm going to have some mini dimensionals on hand here for the rest of this. I'm going to do a mini on the back of this leaf, and we'll do a mini on the back of that one. And I'm not quite sure where we're going to put dimensionals on our lemons, but we'll figure it out in just a second when we decide where we're going to put them. So this leaf is going to tuck up in behind. We'll just have it come right in there. Okay. And this one, we'll do the same thing. Put it down here on that side. And our lemons, so I want to make sure that they don't end up the same direction. So I might say have one right in here, and then another one, I want to change its orientation so that it's not the same, because that's just weird. We'll kind of put it over here like so. So now I can see I need a dimensional here. Okay, so if I've got a dimensional here, and I do a little glue on this guy, right? I can put that one on. Kind of just make it be part of this grouping over here. And this one, I think I'm just going to glue the whole thing. Well, not whole thing, but glue on the one side, because the rest isn't really, yeah, that's good. Now we'll add these 3 leaves in for a little contrast in color, just to kind of, you know, make this wake up just a little bit. We'll do one there, and we'll do another one down in here. And the last one, I'm going to add up in here to this picture. So a little bit of something like that. And that just kind of, you know, it sparks it all, it wakes it all up. I'm going to do dimensional on this one for sure. And I don't care if it shows on this side. See how it's kind of hanging out? That's okay. I'm going to tuck it under the lemons. It won't matter. And it'll hide. But look how it kind of fills in right into that word sweetest. I kind of like that sort of thing. And I'm bending these just a little bit to give them a little bit of fun and dimension. This one I'll glue. You can see I grabbed the glue for this one, just because of where it's going in and where it's, you know, going to attach. And then I think we'll do this one with glue as well. And I'm just making sure that it's on a completely different angle from this one. Okay, so see how it's pointing a little bit more that way, and this one's a little bit more up. Okay, I'm just giving a quick clean to my precision tip here, putting the little cap back on. Alrighty, so we're close. We're gonna give it a little shine and sparkle. Okay, just to some of our key stamped elements, right? Kind of makes it fun. And a little flick, because we can. The last thing I want to do is go back to those gems that we used on our very first card, or on my very first card. Good luck finding them, right? Holy moly. You know, it's not that bad over here. It's not, I mean, I've made bigger messes, let me tell you. But how did I misplace those? How did I misplace my, here they are. How did I misplace my cleanup pad? Okay, so I'm going back to these. Again, these are called solid gems. And I'm going to use these yellow ones, and I'm going to kind of punch up the carpet here. The carpet. And I am going to do a medium. So let me see. 1, 2, 3. They kind of all show, but I don't have very many littles left. But I'm going to take the medium. We'll do a medium right here on this front, and then from here on, we'll go every other. And so it's a little overkill, but you know, sometimes you have all these gems and we don't use them. I say use them up, right? So that's a small, a medium. So I'm just doing medium, small, you know, real predictable here. And we'll do that one. And tuck this one in there. And that one just doesn't show enough, so it's not getting one. And we'll do that right there. There you have it, folks. Kind of a different type of layout, but I think it's kind of fun. Here's my original that I was working off of. Similar. So here it is with it on front, and here it is tucked underneath. I think I like the underneath better, although it's cool to kind of see that rectangle coming through. I definitely like my bow on this one better. It's bigger. It has a little more style. So there is our class for today, looking at these again. And this one here, our first one, Delightfully Eclectic Designer Series paper, but look how each one is so totally different. It's pretty wild, but that's cool paper. So that's our class for today, but there's more. I'll show you a few other cards here. So here's a similar layout that was done. I did this one earlier. So this one kind of inspired our second card. And this card has a buddy. These are from a hop from a while ago. But this is just kind of focusing on that strawberry image and turning it around. Not image, but die cut. I don't remember where, oh, the little circle here is from Lighting the Way. That's what that is from. So there's a couple cards there using this set. Here's another card using this set. This is a different type of card. It's a belly band card, but instead of being 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, this one is 4 1/4 by 6. And so this belly band slides off, and then it's 6 inches long, and I've used a full 6-inch paper and folded it inside to create a pocket. So, you know, it doesn't always have to be the exact same size. So there's that. I do want to point out that little strawberry die I put on top of some of the strawberries here. I don't know if you can see that, but kind of fun. Kind of change it up just a little bit. Now you can see the definite coordination between that paper and the stamp set. Here's another one that's been posted on my blog for a while and in social media. This is the dots and spots. Is that what they call it? It's a die, a big solid die for, you know, adding some polka dots to things. But there's that magic carpet in there. Same technique, same exact technique. Here is my favorite. This is the mixing that bubble bath and that petal pink. And that's what I was talking about, a cool pink and a warm tone pink. And I think they work. This one here, so same thing. I did the gems on the picnic blanket and put the fruit in. It's really, really slightly colored that the glasses and the picture, there are some images that we didn't use in the stamp set that I want to point out. So there's this little top piece here, and then this top piece for the picture. So here I've given it to make it look like the glass is green. Okay, so I did it's actually been stamped with soft seafoam. So that's what, if you're wondering why these two images are here, that's what they are. So we didn't use them, but I have used them, but kind of fun. My linen thread here, I actually colored with a Bubble Bath Stampin' Blend. And then this last card, I'll show you a tag on here. I don't know if you can see it, but this is a larger card. So this measures, this is a 5.5-inch square card. I think it's kind of fun. So this one, this one we went all out on the drinks. So this is a definite party here. So same lemon slice idea that we did before. But I do have thin, tiny little strips of paper they're just cut strips of paper as straws. And then under in here, I don't know if you can see it, but there is that's that tiny little tag that's one of the dies. It's so little. I would sure like to know from the artist what the intention was for that. And speaking of intention, I posted on the Backstage Pass a video that Stampin' Up posted just earlier this week of the making of the Masterfully Made Designer Series paper and all that tearing. And so I like learning about that. I would like to know why, some of the intents behind things. Sometimes we can figure it out and sometimes it's not as obvious. But if you figured something out with them, let me know. I'd sure love to know. So there you have it. Some beautiful cards using the So Refreshing bundle, and a couple more there, plus our class. I will photo these so that you can see them. These you can find. Anyhow, I hope you've enjoyed it. I have one last announcement for you, and that is Studio Ink Spots. People have asked. It is returning this early fall, so September. The camp, I announced it, and then I had to change it by a week because plans changed. My nephew's getting married, so I needed another week before. I couldn't do it while I was traveling. So it will be Friday, September 22nd, and then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, the 28th, 29th, and 30th. We are going to feature the Paper Florist dies. It's going to be a blast. There are some new things that I'll be doing with this particular Studio Ink Spots. Game night will include prizes for those who are doing the PDF international version. What's that going to be? You'll see in the announcements that will open. The registration will open August 1st. So I'll have a big blog post and I'll let you guys know where you can find that. So August 1st, we'll start registration for the next Studio Ink Spots Stamp Camp. And there's some other things listed in there. We'll have to see if you guys can figure out what's going to be new for this one. Anyhow, I'm looking forward to it and to all of our classes. Thanks for joining. Thanks for commenting. I sure appreciate it. And I will catch you guys next Thursday for our Cheerful Daisies class. Don't forget to sign up. Tomorrow is the last day. I have a few more kits, but not much. Take care, folks. Bye-bye.